peace. Greetings. Love and light to you all, family. Welcome to another YouTube video with me, your host, Mathix. Now, I'm back again with another video, and on today's video, I want to talk to you about astral projection and the phenomena that is also known as the out-of-body experience. So we're going to be talking about astral projection and the out-of-body experience. So now, what is, or rather, let me start by saying this. The reason I'm making this particular video is because I had an out-of-body just this morning. So this morning I woke up at around 2 a.m. At 2 a.m. I woke up and I couldn't go back to sleep. So 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. and around 4:30, that's when I started feeling, like sleepy again. And that's when I started experiencing the out-of-body phenomena. So what is the out-of-body experience? Well, I've experienced it quite a few times in my life. And if you scroll down my YouTube to the earliest videos that I've made, I made one speaking about the body as the temple. And in there I speak about the different bodies that your consciousness resides or travels in. Now, what you need to know about yourself, and I'm going to keep repeating this in multiple videos, is that you are a biological technology, a biological machine. This that you have here is a computer. This is a radio, it's a television, it's a broadcasting system, it's a telescope, it's a microscope. Any and every technology that exists, it starts right here. This is the base of all things. You are the supreme technology that all other technologies is based on. You are the primary, and everything else comes as a secondary effect. Now, when we talk about the out-of-body experience, that is when this computer that you have switches radio stations or switches into different frequencies. Now there's different frequencies that your brain deals with. There's waking frequencies, there's frequencies that you experience when you meditate, there's frequencies that you experience when you are in deep sleep, there's frequencies when you're experiencing when you are in that type of sleep where you dream, because there's a sleep where it's a dreamless sleep. Now these are known as alpha, beta, delta, and theta brain waves. So these are brain waves. Now, when you are dealing with an out-of-body experience, it's basically the phenomena where you are in between a state which is known as REM sleep, which is rapid eye movement. So that's basically when your eyes flicker really fast. Like, they call that a rapid eye movement. And so now when you are in that state, and you then are also in the state of being slightly awake, so now you are in between two states. Now, the REM sleep is accompanied by deep visualizations or deep visuals, right? So now you are in a state where you are half awake, and then you are also kind of still asleep. This is also where the phenomena of sleep paralysis also comes in. I did a video about sleep paralysis, because these also going hand in hand. Sometimes you think it's a sleep paralysis, but then it's actually that trigger that now would awaken that sleeping, or that out of body. Because what happens in a sleep paralysis is that your mind wakes up, but then your body's still asleep, right? So your mind is awake, but then your body's still asleep, and then all of a sudden you feel that you can't move. So the most automatic thing for you to do would be to panic. But sometimes it's not a demon in your room. It's not some witch or some wizard. Nah, it's just a phenomena of your consciousness shifting states or shifting bodies. You are a technology. So what happened with me this morning was I'm sleeping, right? And all of a sudden I feel like I'm floating now. I'm like, okay, this is happening again, because it's happened multiple of times. And sometimes it would happen in, let's say, in a period of a month. I would have like maybe two, then I'd go a long time without having it. But when it happens, I know it's happening and I get excited, because I always want it's in fact it's something that I want to it's something that I am consciously dealing with mastering. It's like something that you train yourself. It's like if you were to be in an accident or something were to happen where you would have to now retrain your limbs, retrain yourself on how to walk. These bodies are also states that have been so dormant that you don't know that you can do them. But then now the military and the US Army and the West are now coming into these particular phenomena that are not really supernatural, but are everyday activities for normal people around the world. In the East, in Africa, this is known. The Khoi people, the Khoisan, the so-called Bushmen, healers, different tribes and cultures all around the world, they would have what is known as the shaman, who would be that person that would go in an altered state of mind and then would leave their body, either to travel to different places to look for to wander and scout about, which is also a phenomena known as remote viewing as well. So remote viewing, astral projection, out of body experience are basically the same thing, but they are different slightly. So it's like water when it's like gas in a liquid or in a solid. It's basically the same thing, just different states of it. So there's remote viewing where your mind travel, or where your eye travels to a particular place and you are there visually. And then there is an out of body where you get out of your body and then you can see your body hovering from outside of your body, and you can move into the surrounding environments. And then now there's astral projection where you travel into the astral realm, hence the word astral projection. The astral realm is what you would call the star realm. Astral is star, the realm of the stars. Now, where are these stars? Do you travel to those stars out there? No, you don't travel to those stars out there when you astral project. The stars out there are a holographic projection of the neurons, which are the stars in you. So you have encompassed the whole universe in your journey as God, in your journey as a supreme mind descending into the lower realms. So within you, within this body of Osiris, within this Kabbalistic tree, within this cross of the Messiah, are the different dimensions and the mentions that are mentioned in the different holy scriptures. So within you, you contain the realms, from the highest, most pristine, the most highest of the Devachan, to the lowest of realms, to purgatory. All of these are internal. And your state of mind is what determines where you get to be on a daily basis. So when you are in a happy, joyous mood, you are in heaven. And when you are in a stressful, anxious mood, you are in purgatory. Right? Just describing the different dimensions that you exist in. Now, when you have an out-of-body experience, what happens is that you're sleeping and your body moves, or you feel yourself having a second body, which still feels like your original body. And with that, you can view down at your body. This phenomena is experienced also by people on let's say on a surgery table, or people who have a near-death experience. They also get to experience this. Sometimes if you are, let's say you're experimenting with hallucinogenic substances, you can also experience this. Or you are in a deep meditation, you can also experience this. Or you're about to wake up and then your mind wakes up before the body, you can also experience this. Now, it's something that is common, as I'm saying, but it is also a skill that you can practice. It is also a skill that you can practice. There's a movie called The Men Who Stare at Goats. It's a military movie where these men were basically psychic spies, and they were trained to spy on the enemy using the ability to remote view, to view distant locations while being local. This is ancient stuff. This is ancient technology. These are ancient phenomena that have been known and still are known, but have been mystified, by the government and by the media, and they've been made to seem like, oh no, these are sci-fi things, where you see Doctor Strange being pushed out of his body, or you see Spider-Man being pushed out of his body, or you watch certain movies where people go out of their body, like that movie I was telling you about, Doctor Sleep. If you watch Doctor Sleep, that there would be astral projection or out of body experience. Mostly astral projection now goes deeper because you don't just move locally, but you can move to different dimensions beyond the locality of your body. So it experiences dimensions far beyond. And remember, as I said, Jorge, these dimensions are not something that are alien to you. These are dimensions inside of you. They are only alien to the degree that you do not travel them enough. So then you would think that they are supernatural. But trust me when I say that they are very natural to you. So now, when you have an out of body experience, the interesting thing is you can see things that are happening, or you can see things that would not make sense for you to be able to know that those things were there. As the example I gave you, there were people who were on the operating table, and as they were operating on them, they were basically unconscious, but they could see and hear the conversations that the doctors were having, and even be able to travel to other rooms and know of what was taking place in those rooms. And then when they woke up, they explained what happened, and people were bamboozled, like, you're not supposed to know this. How did you know this? Because you were unconscious. In the East, they call that the body mind, or the mind taking on the body, and then the two merging. So you are able to experience this, and most people do experience this, but then they do not know what it is. As I said again before, Jorge, sometimes you think that you're having a sleep paralysis, but it's just the beginning stages of an out of body or an astral projection. It is your energy body. You have an energy body. When you drunk, when you drink too much alcohol, or something happens where you pass out. Pilots also experience this. Before I get to the pilots, when you drink too much alcohol, what happens? You pass out. That is because that alcohol, the reason that they call it a spirit is because it taxes you on your ethereal body. So it draws energy on your ethereal body. So that's why people who drink a lot tend to look older, or they seem older even though they're young, is because they're drawing on their vital body or their energy body. That's why alcohol is called spirits, because it draws from that energetic body. That's the body that deals with energy and out of body experiences. So that's why now when you just like too drunk, you pass out. It's because now you need to revitalize the body, for it draws energy on that template, which is called the ethereal body. Pilots experience, if you also check out, if you check out something called G-force. When pilots are flying at very high speeds in a jet, they experience something called a G-force, where the gravity becomes so intense that they pass out, because blood now moves from from the brain and from the head, and then it moves to the lower parts of the body, and so now that would cause them to pass out. And most of them have spoken about the phenomena of having an out of body experience while they are in that particular passing out state. So out of body, near death experience, astral projections, these are basically the same phenomena, just in different variations. It's the same thing where people say they have a near death experience and then they see this tunnel, or they feel like they're going through a tunnel. That tunnel is the chamber that you travel up, which is your spinal cord, because that is where the different dimensions are allocated. Your spinal cord is the pillar of dimensions, where the different chakra fields, or the different worlds, the different dimensions, the different states, the different wheels, the different psychological states, the different heavens, the different worlds, the different galaxies, it's all on that spine. That spinal line, that is what people travel through when they die. When you die, you go inside yourself, because you have encompassed creation. And since you have encompassed creation, what you are doing in this physical realm is that now you are experiencing yourself externally. So you are externally projecting yourself, and you are experiencing reality as so-called outside, but it's actually inside. So all of this is inside projected outwards. And then in different states of out of body, or in astral projections, you get to experience yourself internally. So those stars that you travel to in astral projection are the stars inside. You are the universe made flesh. As tiny as your body seems, it is the universe. It is the microcosm of the macrocosm. And your consciousness is the driver, the spirit that travels in that universe. It literally travels in that universe. When you sleep, you go into the source of the projection. You go into what is projecting your external reality. So, to summarize it, an out-of-body experience is a phenomena where you temporarily leave your body and you feel as though you are floating. And the more and more this happens to you, it becomes like a muscle. You become used to it. You can control it. You can go further and further, where you can see your body. When you astral project, you can travel in your mind using your energy body or your astral body, which is your star body, to travel to different dimensions and to travel to different planes, to have different experiences. All of this, to remote view, is to view things with your mind's eye that are non-local, while your body remains in a localized place. This is how divine you are. This is how amazing you are. These are, when we speak about a spiritual awakening, these are the things that you are awakening to. These abilities, these states. You are much more profound. And all of this is just you now coming back to discovering and remembering. It's all about that. It's just about remembering. And don't be afraid. That's another thing. Don't be afraid when you experience these things, because when you become afraid and you get scared, you get shot back into your body most of the time. So just be calm. Practice deep breathing meditations. That's why it's important to practice breathing meditations, because it calms you down. What you practice in waking state plays out when you are asleep. You are calm in those states, and then you can experience more of what those realities are trying to show you. And in out of body, in astral projections, there are certain answers that now get revealed to you on a deeper psychological, spiritual, metaphysical, esoteric, occult level that you wouldn't otherwise be able to perceive in your normal state, because, as I said, you are going into the source of what it is that is projecting the external reality, which is the universe internalized, now projected outward. So when you are having these experiences, you are going into the source of the projection itself, so you are able to now retrieve much more deeper answers. You go into the ancestors, the realm of the ancestors, and that's where the answers are. Because you are going into the genetic material, you are going into the quantum. You become Ant-Man. Makangena lapha when he goes into the quantum. You go into the quantum, into the hyperbolic time chamber, where time and space now take on a different spin and a different a different orientation. You see what I'm saying? So you are the gift that you must discover. You are the gift that you must explore. You are the greatest phenomena to have ever, to have ever taken on a body. You are the mind of God made flesh. You are it, and it is you. That's the beauty of it.